It wasn't just imagination, it was real, late at night, the hour when no one sees, no one judges, no one needs to know. The name was typed in, with hesitation, with a trembling hand. This person opened your profile, stayed there, watching, scrolling through every detail, not liking, not commenting, not giving any sign, but saw everything, every post, every phrase, every silence, tried to sense if you are happy, if there's someone new, if you've forgotten, or if you still feel. Stopped on a specific photo, lingered there, as if that image were a living memory, read a caption like someone searching for clues, and felt something they swore they had left behind, tried not to be shaken, tried not to let it show, even to themselves. But it stirred them. They saw you differently, more distant, stronger, but still familiar. This person misses you, even while denying it, even while telling everyone they've gotten over you. They come back, always come back, to see you from afar, to find any trace of what you both were. You don't know, but this has been happening, more often than you imagine. This person searches for you, in secrecy, in nostalgia, in the absence that lingers, and every time they leave your profile, they carry with them a weight, a doubt, a desire that hasn't died yet. You can't imagine what happens when no one is watching. You have no idea how often your name still lives silently in the memory of someone who tried to erase you. But there's one thing you need to know. There is someone who keeps coming back, yes, returning to you invisibly, in the impulse that they always swear will be the last time. But it never is. This person doesn't comment, doesn't like, doesn't send messages, doesn't DM you. But they enter, see everything, analyze every detail. They go slowly. Like someone walking in sacred and dangerous territory. The profile is public, but the courage isn't. This person carries a strange mix, pride, nostalgia, fear, hope, all at once. And on one of those nights that are common for you, but intense for her, something happened. It was automatic. The phone in hand, the dark room, the racing mind. This person typed your name, stopped, deleted it, thought better of it, and typed again. She entered your profile, with her heart pounding. There were your photos, the new ones, the old ones, those in which your gaze says more than the words you wrote. This person noticed what you tried to hide. She felt it, even without the right to ask, or the space to intrude. She read your captions as if deciphering a code, searching for something, anything, a sign. She saw your face, thought you looked calmer, or more distant, maybe lighter, or just better at pretending. The doubt hit hard. Did you forget? Did you really move on? Do you still think of me, even for just a second? And the worst, is there someone else taking the place I once held? This person felt it, but didn't show it, because pride weighs heavy, and longing does too. She stayed there for a few minutes. That felt like hours. Opened your stories, heard your voice, recognized you in the tone, the mannerisms, the silences, and smiled. Without meaning to, she wanted to send something, a word, an emoji, anything, but she didn't. Just closed the app and pretended nothing happened, just like she always does. You still live in some corner of this person's mind, even if she says you don't. She tries to move on, but comes back, always comes back, alone, in secrecy, without witnesses. And while you live your routine, thinking everything is in the past, this person still visits you, not physically, but with her gaze, with the memories, with the invisible presence of someone who hasn't closed the door on the inside. You never notice. But it happens, more often than you would be able to bear knowing. You know that photo you posted without intention, that casual text, that song you shared on your story, all of that was seen by her and interpreted in a way that only those who miss someone truly understand. This person sees you trying to smile and understands that there is still pain, recognizes her attempt to show that she is okay, but picks up on what slips through, what remains unsaid. There's something in you that still speaks to her, even when you don't say anything. And this, no matter how silent it seems, yells. There are nights when she can't sleep, and you're the thought that doesn't go away. Not because you were perfect, but because you left a mark, and what leaves a mark doesn't fade away, it hides, it camouflages, but it stays. This person promised herself that she wouldn't look back, but she doesn't keep that promise. Some desires are greater than any rational decision, and she tries to disguise it, acts busy, pretends she doesn't care, but she returns, always returns. You remain a delicate territory, and at the same time familiar. This person still feels, still remembers, still imagines how it would be if everything had been different, even knowing that there may be no turning back, even acknowledging that you've moved on, or are trying to move on. There are people we never forget, even as life goes on, even as other names appear, and you are that kind of presence, that remains even when absent, that disturbs even in silence, that evokes feelings even from afar. This person sought you out, more than once, more than one night, more than one impulse, and every time she visits your profile, she takes a piece of you with her, a piece that still lives inside, even when denied, even when hidden. You feel that sometimes, don't you? A restlessness out of nowhere, a sudden memory, a shiver without explanation. That's it, this silent connection that still pulses between you, even without words, even without presence. Because some things don't end with a conclusion. They end with a pause, a wait, a maybe. This person still carries all of this, even without speaking, even without showing. But you feel it. You know it's not coincidence, because certain presences are tangible, even when they don't show up. If this has ever happened to you, comment, "I needed to hear this." When was the last time someone reached out to you in silence? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you've made it this far, it's because this message is for you too. What's being said here is something you've experienced in some form. Maybe as someone searching, or as someone being sought. But you still live, and deep down you know that there's something there that hasn't been said, something unresolved, something not fully experienced. It has lingered, frozen in time, as if the last exchange glance has cemented a part of the story. That person might be laughing now, working, posting stories, engaging with other names, but in the darkroom, on the pillow at midnight, it's you that her mind talks to, not with words, but with images, with scenes, with involuntary repetitions of what could have been, the way you held her gaze, the pauses in the middle of sentences, the strange way you said "I'm fine" without convincing anyone. All of that still resonates. And even without saying anything, you still communicate. Even without trying, you still provoke. That person has tried to replace you, tried to fill the space you left behind, but she couldn't, because what you represent cannot be substituted. It was specific, it was intense, it was too real, and now it hurts. Because the absence of what was real always hurts more than the lack of what never existed. You've become that uncomfortable memory. Yet she insists on holding on to it, because losing you completely would be like losing a part of herself. And no matter how much time passes, no matter how many new stories come along, whenever emptiness strikes, she runs to the same place, searching your name. That's where she still feels something alive, even if in silence, even if in ruins, and you, unknowingly, continue to be that glowing flame in the corner of her memory, a flame that doesn't extinguish, even with time, even with distance. Have you noticed this, that feeling that someone is thinking of you, that they're accessing you without calling your name? Because that's exactly what happens. You are being sought after, felt, remembered, in a kind of longing that doesn't show up in stories, that isn't confessed through messages, but it invades and screams and leaves its mark. There's a space in someone that is still yours, even if you never go back to it, even if you never know for sure. But it exists. This person knows it, and carries that knowledge with a mix of pain and tenderness, because remembering you hurts, but forgetting you would kill them inside. So they prefer to keep you there, in a place they can visit, without needing to explain themselves, because admitting they still feel would be like opening a wound that never healed, and this person is tired of bleeding. But they also don't know how to live with this eternal silence. That's why they seek you out, even without showing it, even without any sign at all. It's a way to breathe you in, to touch you without touching, to relive without going back. You've become this painful refuge, and even if you don't know it, and you're still there, present, this person hasn't moved on. Even if they pretend, even if they say otherwise, even if they post as if they're at peace, because they're not. There's a type of your presence that still burns in them, and it doesn't matter how many names come and go, how many bodies try to replace yours. You are still the reference. You are still the name no one can mention without something inside them breaking. And you know what's worse? This person doesn't even understand why. Days have passed, months, maybe years, but every time they see you, even if just in a photo, everything comes rushing back. The scent, the voice, the feeling. It's as if time couldn't erase it, just hide it, just push it into a corner of the soul they visit alone at night. And there you still exist completely. You know this, because you feel something similar. You've also gone to their profile, you've also stared, you've also wanted to write but didn't. Your silence isn't peace, it's a cold war, one waiting for the other to break, but nobody breaks. The truth, you still haunt them and she still crosses your mind. There are questions that were never asked, answers that never came, ends that never happened. That's why it still hurts. That's why it still exists. And the cruelest part, this person sees you moving on, posting, growing, going, and wonders if you feel that void too. If you check her profile at night, if you read and then quietly leave. But she never asks, because asking would mean admitting she still feels something, and admitting would mean tearing down the shield she built so carefully. So she pretends to have forgotten. But she goes back, always goes back. Because no matter how hard she tries to pretend she's moved on, some names we learn to live with, this person has learned to live with you inside. Even when you're apart, even when you're far away, even in silence. And you? How are you dealing with this? Have you learned to cope with that absence, or do you still wake up with her name trapped in your chest? This story isn't over yet, and you feel that in your body every time you try to move on, every time you try to convince yourself that you've gotten past it. Something inside contradicts you. It's not just a memory, it's a living absence. It's the presence of something that hasn't finished. This person continues to visit you from within, even without seeing you, even without touching you. She lives in a space between nostalgia and pride, in a gap that no one can access. You are her blind spot. And she is that discomfort you can't completely push away, because she always comes back, in dreams, in random thoughts, in a scent that appears out of nowhere. And she always brings the same discomfort. Why did it end that way? Why did no one have the courage to try just one more time? This person carries that question, and so do you, even if you won't admit it. And that's why there's still a tension when her name comes up, when someone mentions it, when a memory slips out without asking for permission. You might even laugh on the outside, but inside, you tremble, because you know you still feel it. Even if you don't want to, even if you fight against it, even if you hide it. And this person feels the same way, even living other stories, even getting involved in other routines. There's a space left there, and no one has filled it, not for lack of trying, but because it was yours, and it still is. When she checks your profile, she doesn't want updates. She wants to feel, she wants to find herself again in that memory that no one else awakens. Because you were a refuge, even with all the flaws, even with the noise. You were her safe haven, and now it's a weighty absence, it's a silence that hurts. This person tries to seem okay, but stumbles on everything that reminds her of you. In the songs, in the places, in the dates, in the times you used to talk. There's still room for you there, even if the whole world says it's time to move on. And you too, God, you know this. You know she still lives in some corner of what you feel. She thinks she's forgotten, but all it takes is a scent, a word, a mistaken notification, for everything to come rushing back. You might have moved on, but you didn't close the door, and as long as that door stays ajar, there will be visits. This person will keep coming back, in silence, with longing, with fear, with desire. She will continue searching for traces of you online, in the texts, in the glances. You are the name that still resides in her, even if no one else knows, even if they never speak again. You're not alone in this. Many people are living the exact same absence. This same silent cycle of feeling and pretending not to feel. There's a crowd behind the screens, visiting old profiles with heavy hearts, waiting for a notification that doesn't come, a sign that never appears. And maybe that person you miss so much is watching this right now, also trying not to show it, but feeling. So if this message spoke to you, give it a like. Not just for me, but for that feeling you've always tried to swallow down silently. Comment below what you think about this. Who is this person who still visits you, even in silence? Have you ever experienced something like this? Write in the comments what got stuck inside you. And if you know someone who needs to read this, share this video. Send it to that person who will understand without you having to explain. If this touched you, subscribe to the channel now, because here we talk about what no one has the courage to discuss. And in the next video, we're going even deeper. This conversation doesn't end here. Come with me to the next one.